Hey guys, welcome up. What's up? Welcome to the channel. Got my crossbones here. How are y'all doing today? Um, Felt a little I don't know, out of it this morning trying to get ready. So forgive me for being a little out of it this morning, getting ready. Let's see. Let's get started here. So anyhow, yesterday I got notification that my Thanos Infinity War and Black Panther from Black Panther and Iron Man Mark 50 are being shipped to me. So that was $1,200 of figures all coming in one day. That's what really makes me crazy. Hear nothing, hear nothing, hear nothing, hear nothing, and then all of a sudden, kablam! Um, so sometimes those come in a week, sometimes they come in a couple of weeks. So if I have them next week, I will unbox the Mark 50 first, and then I'll probably unbox Thanos the next week, and then in 3 weeks I'll be unboxing my Black Panther with the luminous effect. So look forward to getting those. It's difficult to keep them in the box. I want to get them. Like this Colossus has been sitting on him for, I think, a week. I think it came last Saturday. Also, I think you guys have seen the Spider-Man figure is out again, called the Movie Promo Edition. And I've got a video that I'm making over there. So what this is your opportunity to be able to get the Spider-Man figure. A lot of people were saying that at one point it was selling for $800. So if you missed that and didn't have the $800 to spend on it from somebody who already bought it, you can get a brand new one now for $204. Noble, how's it going, ma'am? Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. The difference between this movie promo edition and the original release, which was actually, remember, there's two of them. There's the deluxe version and the regular version. Is it's just the basic figure. It comes with the spider webs, comes with the hands, and that's it. Now the images look like as if the blue is lighter if you compare the images between the original release Spider-Man and the new release Spider-Man. But when I look at my Spider-Man that came to me and compare it to the images from the last time, this Spider-Man is also lighter than the images, and I think this blue color is the proper color compared to what they're showing you. So, movie promo edition, from what everything I've been able to ascertain, is literally a re-release of the figure without the head sculpt, without the deluxe sets, which includes the blazers and the hoodie and something else. It doesn't come with the backpack. It only comes with the hands and the webbing. And if you want to get the deluxe set pieces, which is the blazer and the hoodie and a pair of jeans, you can pick those up. They're like $35 if you want to get just the blazer and all that. So you could buy this figure, the movie promo edition, which is supposed to come out in a few months, sometime between July and September, supposed to be shipping. And then you can order the blazer and all that and have yourself a Spider-Man if you happen to miss him. Now, because keep in mind, that Spider-Man's been in. So this will be Tom Holland's fifth movie, which is what Sony agreed to with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They agreed to 5. And so the first one was Captain America Civil War. This suit was there. The second one was Marvel Avengers Infinity War. This suit was there. The third one was Spider-Man Homecoming. This suit was there. Avengers Endgame, he did not wear this suit. It was in the Iron Spider. But now he's in this suit again in Far From Home. So this suit is in 4 of the 5 movies, and that was all the arrangement for with the Marvel Cinematic Universe crossover. Now, I can't imagine for 1 second they would stop using Tom Holland. I think Sony's got Spider-Man in the bag there, and as long as Tom wants to keep cranking out Spider-Man movies, I can't imagine for 1 second that Sony wouldn't do that. So, with the 5th movie contract coming to an end, I can see a whole lot of Spider-Man suits coming out. I can see, as we've seen in the traders, you have the some type of possibly the noir suit or Noir suit, however you say it. I always say noir suit, the black one. You know, anything that they can do to pop out suits, because you got the video game series as well. I can't imagine Hot Toys not getting a hold of that. I can't imagine Marvel Cinematic Universe not getting a hold of that. We may see more than just the red and blue suit. They got the red and black suit. They got the black suit. So there's 3 suits from the factory going to be there. There's no telling how many other suits are going to show up for this. So get your Spider-Man. He's only $204. Sideshow is only limiting you down to 2. You can only get 2 of them. So if he's in 4 movies, so there's 4 opportunities to be able to pose that suit. So knock it out. Get a hold of them if you wanted to get them. What did I do with my knife? Can't find my knife. Scissors will work. So let's get Colossus out of the bag. So this I got from 1/6 Kit. So I bought this one from. I have my original Colossus, the steel, here as well for comparison. What is there? PE002. PE Premium Edition. I think the cable was PE001, right? That was a Toys R Us, wasn't it? Guys, I gotta tell you, man, it's tough holding on to these figures until Saturday. Sometimes I want to get them open as soon as I get them. I've been sitting on this one for a week. I've been holding on to Black Panther for 3 weeks. So I'm happy to share this with you. Learning the figure as you go, the excitement of seeing it. I'd like to see the Negasonic Teenage Warrior. Oh, so also, did you notice there's a head sculpt if you want to get the Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, with hair. So they have that was announced this week. They have some Rocky figure suits. I think it's just the suits that came out this week. So you can do the Italian Stallion. One of them in his jogging outfit, another one is just like his regular clothes. Let's see, head sculpt, Comes with an articulated body. 5 pieces of interchangeable gloved hands, 1 jacket, 1 pair of black pants, 1 long sleeve shirt, 1 pair of boots, and this is a pre-order price, $215 for the Italian Stallion. 2 versions of Rocky. They have the Nightcrawler is announced, 2 versions of him. They have the Joker with what's his name? The new Joker figure was announced by Y Toys. And Carol Danvers comes in 3 hairstyles. So those are other things that have come up in the last week. So here's the box. Warnings on the back. Robert, how's it going, man? Welcome. Happy Saturday. So I was anticipating him to be shinier than the original one. Looking at the images that were first posted of him, he appeared to be shinier, more metallic looking. And first impression here, I'm not seeing that. 2 head sculpts. Figure stand, offset. Stand base offset figure stand. 4 hands. So 4 additional hands. Total of 6 hands. It's funny looking at these. I guess there was more of a difference in the movie than I realized initially, because his hands are totally different between the 2 figures. I'm kind of disappointed though he's not more metallic. I literally thought that he was more metallic. Belt buckle's different. Boots are different. Pants are different. The top looks exactly the same, and I thought the top was different. And you know what? I think he's taller. Got a loose leg. This one seems to be fine. This leg's loose. What in the world? So these are shoes compared to the boots. So we're going to get a little more posability. Shoes much bigger here. So I think he's probably more properly proportioned, which was a problem with the first one. And it really wasn't a problem of the toy manufacturer as it was the CGI guys who kind of geeked it up when they were CGIing him. Yeah, he's taller. Look at that. Dude, could you imagine if they did the Juggernaut? Holy cow. I so want a Juggernaut. Yeah, he's much bigger. I think the head sculpt was better originally. looked more like the actor or the character. This one not so much. But the head sculpt's larger too. So he's probably more true to scale. This re-release, or 2.0 from Deadpool 2. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I agree. It's cool looking. Collection session. Good morning. How's it going? Didn't you have the first one? Yeah, right here. Just finished kit bashing Age of Ultron. Cap came out good with Feist and M33 body, bit bulky. That's good to know. Just missing belt harness and shield. Next up, kit bash Civil War cap. That'd be nice. Batman Begins suit. Saw Dark Phoenix. I don't know. I like it. There seems to be like a mixed review. I have not seen it. I did buy my movie tickets to Spider-Man Far From Home. It's funny because it says, this is what it says on the ticket that I bought. It's for 12:01 a.m. on Monday, July 1st. And then it says Monday night. Now, 12:01 a.m., if I were to call that Monday night, that would mean all day Monday has gone by, midnight has come by, and it's 12:01 a.m. Tuesday morning, but I would call that Monday night. So July 1st is Monday, July 2nd is Tuesday, so now I'm confused because it says, after it says Monday night, it then says the movies are listed on the night before. So now I'm trying to figure out whether or not that means that it's 12:01 a.m. Tuesday morning, or is it 12:01 a.m. Monday night? Because it says July 1st, 12:01 a.m. Monday night. And that doesn't make any sense. Because 12:01 a.m., if it's Monday night, that's actually Tuesday morning. So I have no idea whether the movie is going on Monday night at 12:01 a.m. Tuesday morning, or 12:01 a.m. Sunday night, which would be 12:01 a.m. Monday morning, because 12:01 a.m. is 12:01 a.m. If you call it night, it's because you're rolling over from the night before. But for it to say 12:01 a.m. Monday night, that means Tuesday morning, which is July 2nd. So I have no idea whether the movie is coming out Monday night or Sunday night, which is Monday morning. I have no earthly idea. I'll have to figure that out. But anyhow, what I was talking about with the hands being different, and I didn't notice this in the movie, he's got like these ribs in the back of his hands there, whereas here they don't have those. If you notice that. Little ribs there. So he's more silvery here, more gray here. Actually more reflective in the original than in the new. There you can see his shoes versus his boots. And this is a kind of a leather looking type of an outfit compared to cloth here. I don't know if you can see that. They've done a really good job in the portrayal of him. Really pleased with that. And I didn't realize that he was totally out of proportion. I'm a little disappointed in this loose leg here. And you get an extra head sculpt with him. Didn't he get a tooth knocked out or something by Juggernaut? Look at this. Sorry about that. And here you'll be able to see, put the head side by side, size difference in the heads here. there's the two heads. So the one on this side is the original steel, and this is the steel 2.0 from Deadpool 2. Even in bad X-Men movies, Xavier and Magneto always a joy to watch. Does Colossus waist move? Yeah, let's see what his articulations are. Let's go over all that. Should put the right head on here. What head do I want? Let's get his head back on. I'm not going to go with the angry one. I'm just going to go with the constipated one. Alright, so we have pretty good elbow movement here. So from here to there, so you get a little more than 90 degrees. I mean, just a little bit more than 90 degrees. He has a butterfly shoulder. Bowing up and down. You can actually sit him if you needed to. It's really loose here. Now that I messed with his other leg as well. Really loose. And you can pivot him. I don't feel a chest articulation. Feels like it's all one chest piece here. I don't feel a chest articulation there. I don't feel any neck pivot either. The neck is squishy. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it squishes in. So it's it's a shell over a body. The arms feel pretty solid, but of course you can move this. So you have a really good pivot here. All right. So even though the neck doesn't move, I had you clinched in there. I guess I did not. Back to you in a minute. So even though the neck itself doesn't move, the head is allowed pretty good articulation there. Get them looking down, and you can get them looking up. So that's pretty impressive for a neck that doesn't move. So you can really get them into some curious or expressioned movements. I like that. That's really nice. And because these are a high ankle shoe, it's going to give you opportunity to be able to ankle pivot him. There's the ball joint for that. And so if you needed to pivot it, just spin it around, and then you can pivot it left and right, however you wish to do. So forward, back. However, it spins around 360 degrees. So you can definitely have ankle pivot there. So if you missed the first steel, this one, he's properly proportioned, no doubt about it. What happened was, when they were CGIing him, the actor that was walking around being him, seen a lot of the Thanos behind the scene images, I'm sure, how they did Thanos. They did the Steel the same way. They did Colossus the same way. And unfortunately, when the CGI guys started drawing Colossus over the actor, they didn't stretch the arm out. So where his hand was is where his hand was. And if you know, as you've seen the Da Vinci pictures, or you may or may not know this, this is how tall you are from fingertip to fingertip. You know, I forget what it's called, but Da Vinci's image of the man in the circle. And so, you know, you stretch your hands out, that's how tall you are. So your arms are supposed to be a certain length. Now, there are people whose arms are not for that matter, the length that they are supposed to be. And when they made Colossus, they geeked that up. And so they followed that in suit with the creation of this first figure. And this one appears to be properly proportioned. Totally properly proportioned. The other hands he comes with beside the fists are two of these grasping, reaching, extending hands. And here you can see a little better what I was talking about in regards to the seams on the back of them, which are not on the first Colossus. And two relaxed hands as well. So that's Colossus, the Steel 2.0, and my Deadpool shelf is full. I am definitely going to have to do something with Deadpool. And because I have another figure that I want to get to add to my Deadpool collection, another Deadpool. I want to add another Deadpool in there from an alternate reality. So, and by the way, if you noticed, Hot Toys Cos Baby, I think that's how you would say it, Spider-Man figures, they have just announced a whole slew of the video game figures. I mean, a bunch of them. Big time Spider-Man, the Velocity suit, the I can't remember all of them now. To think of it, probably not going to use this stand for him. Of course, you know, I have a bunch of these, and this, if you were to use this short one's not going to cut it. In order to have it up to his waist, you know, or up to his crotch, that's not going to be, see that? It's not going to work. So you're going to have to exchange this out with one of the longer ones. And I have a box of them from all the figures that come with these. So, I mean, that's not a problem. Most of mine, I use these articulated poses here. But a lot of them still have those. So for the most part, like I said, these just accumulate over the years of collecting these guys. So I don't know exactly how he's going to get posed or where he's going to get posed. There they are, side by side. Looking at Deadpool's hand, flipping him off. There's a new Magneto been released too. I don't know if you've seen that. You know, it's funny because of all the crossover in regards to who owns what. It's you know, as much as we hate or are scared of the Disney Fox merger, it's bringing the figures, the characters together. You know what I mean? It's putting them so that one person or company controls them now. So, you know, Deadpool now is controlled by the same company that controls Iron Man and the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, and the X-Men. So it's possible that we could end up seeing all these tied into one, which is kind of the hope, truthfully. You know what I mean? All you know is Xavier, Magneto, Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine. Oh my goodness, it falls into that. You know, it's funny when I I haven't bought a comic in a long time, but I used to buy them. I mean, all the time. I had them mailed to my house from directly from Marvel, and I would go to the comic shops all the time. I was there practically every day. I haven't bought one in a long time, but it was so funny because there was like X-Men collectors, and then there was like Spider-Man collectors, and there was Batman collectors, etc. And the X-Men universe, as you're talking about, is just like trying to collect all the Star Wars figures. Oh my goodness! I ordered the Jazz Inc. Land Speeder. Have you seen that? The 1/6 scale land speeder. I think it's called the X-34 that we've seen in A New Hope, and I think we also seen it in another movie. I don't remember. It looks amazing. 1/6 scale land speeder. You know, about this big. You can put your Hot Toys, Luke Skywalker. You put your Hot Toys Ben Kenobi in there, C-3PO and R2-D2. And I've ordered this from Jazz Inc. Jazz Juiced, I think is his name, and I think it's $379. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to want to get a hold of that. You need to contact him through his website or his Facebook and get a hold of that. That land speeder looks amazing. So now, I'm going to have to buy me a New Hope Luke Skywalker and a New Hope Ben Kenobi to go in that land speeder. So, because I've already got obviously an R2-D2 and a C-3PO. When I seen that land speeder, I was like, oh man, that's dead on. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. Got them land speeder. I like to have the better eyes. Let's see. Does he have better eyes? Are you talking about the new one has the better eyes, or the old one has the better eyes? See, I don't know. The new one, I don't know, man. Like I said, in my opinion, the original one looks more like him from the movie that I remember. His face. Um, that's tough. Now, looking at the head on the neck, the original one, the head and the neck are like the same size. On the 2.0, the head's a little bit larger than the neck. You know, most people, their head's larger than their neck. So again, that falls back into the proper proportion of it. Also, like the neck and the the muscles in the 2.0 compared to the original one, and that may be the figure as well created for the movie. He might not have been as defined in the first movie as he is in the second movie. So I don't know how accurate this is, but if you notice, the neck muscles as well are much better in this one than the original. I'm really digging that. I'm loving them both. I'm not hating on. Gosh, darn it. Not hating on one or the other. What did I just shoot across there? One of his hands. His grabbing, reaching right hand. This just doesn't open up wide enough to hold this. It's always been the problem. Try to squeeze them in there and it just doesn't open wide enough. But I wanted them to be on this rather than this. So he just kind of precariously holds into it, not really holds it. As you've seen, it just fell out of there. I'm not hating on either one of them. I love them both. Love these big guys. Constipated, yeah. That's what he looks like. The normal one looks like a constipated. And this is definitely, I don't know what you would call that. Yelling, screaming. Do you need more light on that, I wonder? See what happens. Sometimes the light ends up washing it totally out. I don't want to do that. See if I can light this up here. Ah, man, fumbles today. Does that help any at all? Too much light washed out? I need to have the lights like foot and a half away. Gosh, I wish I had a studio. God, that'd be great. Show up like dark, like Dean Knight with 70s, 80s stars. Thinking Dirty Harry, John McCain, Terminator, original RoboCop, and Indy. Yeah, and there's a lot of those figures that are out there. We've got a. By the way, there's a figure called the Thief figure by Warrior Model, which comes with a 1/6 scale wheelchair. So those are rare as an accessory item for figures. If you're ever looking for just a regular wheelchair, you have a 1/6 scale wheelchair with this figure, which, like I said, it's an accessory sometimes you want to have for one reason or another. And I am considering getting this figure just for the wheelchair, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure what I think about the Carol Danvers hair. Hair seems to be a problem at times. You know what I mean? The Rocky looks great. Sylvester Stallone, Italian Stallion figure looks really good. And Nightcrawler looks really good. Two versions of that, different X-Men movies. Oh, there's a metal detector, Minesweeper, handheld military style in black and brown, which comes with what appears to be like a Pelican case. So, if you need just the case and not the Minesweeper, I mean, it's another accessory you can get for kit bashing as far as that goes. Let's see. You'll need Rambo in there, though. Are you getting that reissue Homecoming Spidey? It's going for $200 good price. I did. I ordered the 2 that I was allowed to get. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, I need 4 of these. So originally I got the 1, and I was kicking myself for not getting 2 at the time. And I was like, man, I wish I had 2. So I ordered 2 now, so that'll be 3 altogether. So I've got, let me go get my Spidey. I need to bring him in here. So I was looking at him as I was in there making my video talking about that. Man, at $200, you cannot go wrong. I mean, a hot toy at $200? Come on. That's like, people, collectors will say, that they've become so expensive they can't afford to get them anymore. And at $200, you're getting a hot toy. Is amazing. So I had been working on the posing of this, and I ended up breaking my little web accessory here. I had him in his hand here, but I've been working on his pose here as I was looking at him, and so this guy is great. So I'm going to have one in this pose, obviously, and then I have, so I bought the deluxe set, I've got the blazer and all that. I'm going to put him in one of those to represent Spider-Man Homecoming, and then I'm going to have him somehow just being like regular posing, because you, like I said, you get the 4 movies now that he represents. I really wanted to get 3. So I thought I had my tweezers in here, my needle nose pliers. Evidently I don't. I need to get this out of his hand. I can't get this webbing out of his hand here where I snapped it off. And the reason it got snapped off is because I was forcing it up through to be almost straight to get it here. But then as I was noticing with posing him in this position as such, he didn't have to be 100% straight. So I repositioned him in order to get him into this pose here, and I can get this up through his feet now, and he looks like he should in that regards. and it didn't need to have to. I mean, I had it straight. I'd straightened it out, and it didn't need to be straight, and it just broke. But you know, you get one of these with every single Spidey that you buy. So, I mean, they've using the same ones from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, which I need a Tobey Maguire, the red suit and the black suit, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man too. I need all the Spideys, man. I will buy every single Spider-Man that they make. And that was what I was also referring to with the Cos Babies now, because the one of the Cos Babies that they have, Hot Toys has made, is the red and gold Iron Spider. So all these Spider-Mans now that Hot Toys obviously has a licensed manufacturer, and Hot Toys, as we all like to accuse them of, loves milking that cow. And if they can crank out a suit for every one of these video game Spider-Mans or all of these appearances of Spider-Man, gosh, I think there's like, I don't even know, 30 of them. You know, because you've literally, you've got, I couldn't even go through them all. So Hot Toys could just go and go and go and go and go. And when they're showing these Cos Babies of like 12 versions of them, I mean, that could literally be 12 versions of these Spider-Mans. And I'm also curious as to how many of them we're going to see in the Far From Home movie, in addition to the red and blue one, which we know for a fact, the red and black one that we've seen, and the black one. So there's 3 we know for a fact. And Nick Fury tells Peter Parker that, you know, when they did the snap, that opened up the multiverse. And that's where Mysterio comes from. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do an Into the Spider-Verse type of a thing with multiple Spider-Man showing up. Could you imagine Spider-Gwen? Oh my God, what a reveal that would be. Oh, sheesh. I mean, at this point, it's potentially limitless. It really is. Like I said, Hot Toys has shown that they have the licenses for these. They could make as many of them as they want, I would imagine. And I couldn't imagine why they wouldn't. And I'll buy every one of them. Love Spider-Man. I always have. That's my guy. Spidey's my guy. We go way back. Jazz Inc. He is, man. He's a great guy. He is. I agree. And he's. I don't. So George Lucas has always been able to allow the fans to pretty much do whatever they wanted to with his licensed product. Disney got a hold of it now, and don't know exactly where that stands. But man, Jazz has been making these amazing dioramas. If you're a Star Wars fan, you can get all sorts of dioramas made by Jazz for your Star Wars collections. And because I don't really collect the Star Wars, and it has nothing to do, obviously, with the fact that because I love Star Wars, kind of angry about the last couple of movies, but I love Star Wars, and I just don't have the money or the room to put the Star Wars figures, so I've been passing on all these things, but I couldn't help getting a hold of that land speeder. I'm really excited about that. I mean, that's straight up from the first movie. And I don't mean number 1 Phantom Menace. I mean the first movie, which at the time, the only name of it was Star Wars. It wasn't called Star Wars 4. It wasn't called Star Wars A New Hope. It was called Star Wars. That was the first movie. And then they later turned it into 4 A New Hope. Let's see. Who has reissued, but kind of like people who missed out. First, without paying $400, $500, $800 for them. Plus, if you have chance to get it posed, since people were afraid of posing it. There you go. Absolutely, Robert. I wanted that shelf that he made with different franchise backdrops. He's got one that he was working on, didn't he, with like the video screen for like the Emperor's thing, where they're looking out through like the portals of the was it a Death Star or a Star Destroyer? I forget which one he was on. I think he was on a Star Destroyer. I don't remember. I think it was the Imperial Star Destroyer he was on. I feel kit bashing or third way to go now. Hot Toys way too crazy on prices. $200 to $350 should be a stopping point. Anything after that is insane. I want another Mark 46, but $800 and T100 screw that. $1,100 screw that. I think that he screwed new. Now Iron Man is gone. Do you have Luke for the Lancer? I will have to get Luke. So the figures that my wish list of figures, you would think I have them all. I don't. So my wish list of figures include Avengers Loki, Hot Toys Leonidas. I have I think it's Ace Toys, Star Ace Leonidas, which I love. I kind of want the Hot Toys Leonidas, but then again, it's not even really a necessity because you can get the Fison M33 body, I think is the one you said that you used, or any Fison body and make a Leonidas from that, which would probably be better than a Hot Toys body using the Star Ace figures. So I guess I could take Hot Toys Leonidas off of that list. Tobey Maguire red suit, Tobey Maguire black suit, Andrew Garfield red suit, Odin, Luke Skywalker, Ben Kenobi. I guess those are it. I guess that's my wish list now of the figures that I need that are older figures that I'm going to have to try to track down. So what is that? Loki, Luke and Ben, Odin. It's just 4? I thought there was more than that. That's my grail right now. That's the ones that I need to track down. And they're just so ridiculously expensive when you go that direction. But yeah, you definitely have to have Luke for the land speeder, and I will be getting him. So, looking for the hand, Colossus's hand that shot out of here. Oh, there it is. And I probably need to buy some Detos or Detos. Not sure how you actually say it. I guess it's an IKEA company. I guess we would have to ask somebody from Sweden. Is that where IKEA is from? How you say it? Whether it's Detos or Detos. I would like to have a couple of those. $100 a pop. It's like, gee, do I buy another figure or do I buy a figure display case to store them in? Decisions, decisions, decisions. But yeah, the new reissue movie promo edition is this figure exactly. So now you can stand him standing straight up. You can put him in his yellow blazer. I mean, anything you want. So he could go over here on my Spider-Man shelf and hang out with the Mark 47 after the homecoming suit. So, or homemade suit. So he can get up there where he belongs instead of just being over here with the Civil War bunch, which is where he belongs as well. So probably if I was to do a Civil War bunch, oh, because you got your wings too. So I'd probably do a flying version of him, and then a blazer version of him. So I suppose I'd put the blazer version over here at the Spider-Man shelf. Find some other place to put the flying version. Which would the flying version be? Spider-Man Homecoming. That's what the 47's with. And the blazer. Gotta have the wings. I mean, he's had the wings, I think, from the first comic. Definitely one of the first 5, I would imagine. Scarlet Spider is another one that they're doing in the Cos Baby. You know, Ben Riley was his name. Ben Riley. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. I've always loved Spider-Man. If they disgrace Luke any more in the movie, they disgrace Luke any more than they did. What can I say? Copy now, just overblown thing no one cares for. That is unfortunate. You know what I mean? Totally unfortunate. So, like I said, I've paid for Thanos, Iron Man Mark 50, and my Black Panther, the Luminous Black Panther. So they should be coming soon. And so hopefully I'll have at least one of those to open up next week. If not, maybe we'll do a room tour. Maybe we'll clean some figures. I have no idea. We'll get something done. And if they don't, then you'll know for a fact what the next 3 weeks are going to be. Those are coming from Big Bad Toy Store, and they send them FedEx. FedEx used to be fast, and I choose the $4 option to have them shipped. So they definitely take the slow boat. I suppose I could pay $12 for it, the shipping, or $25 to get it faster, but it's never been a concern of mine. So I'll just pay the $4. and now it's like killing me waiting on it. Really looking forward to that Iron Man Mark 50. I have a portrait of Luke as a Jedi Master wearing Vader's outfit. Looks so cool now. Hard to look at in this dark fire. Nosgoth, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Room tour sounds cool. I want those Flash Gordon figures so bad. Those look good. Ming looks really good. And those really look good. I hope that they continue and make like a Hawkman. And have they announced the Flash's girlfriend? What was her name? But that movie, it's so funny. If you watch that movie now, I don't know what's the word you would use to describe it? Kitschy, I guess. Because it looks bad, but it really is good. I mean, that was like a big deal when they made that back in the early '80s when that came out. That was a big deal, and it's so cheesy now when you look at it, but it's Flash Gordon, and Ming looks amazing. Oh man, yeah, the one we really have to wait for is Rescue. 2 years. I can't imagine anything topping though the Hulkbuster. What do we wait on him? 3 years for Hulkbuster to come out finally? Oh, God, that was a pain. Princess Zora, is that her name? Flash's girlfriend? How do you feel about the new Spider-Man promo movie suit? I think it's great, because one thing I had always said was that I wish I'd ordered 2 of these. And it's so funny because I ordered 2 of these, and then I canceled one. You know, money's always an issue. And I had just the one. And I kept kicking myself saying, man, I should have got 2. So I'm glad that it's out, because it's in 4 movies. That suit, that exact suit is in 4 movies. It's in the first one that he makes his appearance, Captain America Civil War. It's in the second one, Spider-Man Homecoming. It's in the third one, Avengers Infinity War, and it's in this last one. It's not in the 4th movie that Spider-Man was in Endgame. He only wears the Iron Spider. It's in the last one, Far From Home. And there's only, from my understanding, Marvel and Sony only signed a 5-movie contract. So I don't know if Sony's going to keep making Marvel Cinematic Universe movies with Tom Holland in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or if they're going to spin out and do their own thing. I think somehow they need to tie Venom in to all of this. Whatever the actor's name is, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, that played Venom. I really enjoyed that movie, and I've got my Venom comic book Venom, and with Hot Toys showing their Venom, that means they have that license as well. So I would like to see a Venom figure by Hot Toys without the white Spider-Man on there. So maybe the movie After Far From Home that Sony will be doing all by themselves will be tying Venom into that. That'd be nice. It would be interesting to see if Tom Holland, you know, he's a young man. He's full of energy. He's full of life. He's a great actor. He's believable. We've accepted him 100% as Peter Parker. It would be great to see him knock out another 5 years worth of movies. Could you imagine a Spider-Man movie every year with Tom Holland in it? Could you imagine it being like a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie and then a Sony movie? Sony knows how to make movies. They screwed up Spider-Man 3, but 1 and 2 were were amazing. Andrew Garfield movies, either here nor there, but they could really do Spider-Man wondrous, and they could satisfy all of us in giving us all of these Spider-Man. So at $200, I'm glad that they're doing this again. I ordered 2 of them, which was all Sideshow would let me get. I really wanted to get 3 of them, and for each of the movies, and I'm happy that they're there. So now you can pose one in this manner, like I've done, and then there's people that are concerned about, you know, the suits. You can just have them just straight up without doing anything like that. But it's the exact same suit. And I'm happy. I'm happy for it. For my collection. Clytus. Who's Clytus? Was that the Hawkman's name? Rocket Sled, and that outfit with the red jacket. Jazz Inc. is making the Rocket Sled, from my understanding, for Flash Gordon. So there's your answer on that. By the way, I tried some new medication, and man, my cheekbones just broke out and itchy and the whole 9 yards. So I've got some something going on here. I stopped that medication. Tell you what, that stuff wasn't working. Dale Arden. Thank you. That's her name. Flash Gordon's girlfriend. All three good versions: black and white, Buster Crab, Filmation, Flash Gordon, and the '80s Flash. I don't remember the older versions of Flash. I'm pretty sure I've seen them, and I only vaguely remember the '80s Flash Gordon movie. The funny thing, what comes to my mind most time is obviously the music performed by Queen, written and performed by Queen. Flash, savior of the universe. But I also remember Dale Arden saying, "Go Flash, go, go Flash, go, go Flash, go." That's what comes to my mind with Flash Gordon. And the weird, ominous music whenever Ming was sitting there tormenting Flash Gordon. That's what I remember most about. Oh, and the Hawkman. I remember the Hawkman. I don't remember his name, but he was like, ha ha ha. Like the whole world was just great as far as he was concerned. I have to watch the old Flash Gordon. And it's funny calling that the old Flash Gordon, 1980s Flash Gordon movie. It should have included new accessories, though Hot Toys kind of milking it now, like with the Mark 7. Well, I think the reason they didn't include it is for, collectors. Like when they dropped the Mark 43, comes exactly. I mean, they don't even change the MMS number. So this one just is the basic one. Is only $200. 204 is what it is, and he comes with only his hands and the web accessories, and that's it. And it doesn't come with the Tom Holland head sculpt or anything. So it's just posing Spider-Man as Spider-Man, and so that's cool. I'm happy to get it, and it's what I wanted. I kept saying to myself, I'd hate to have to go to the third party to try to track down a second one, because I've really wanted a second one for a while. Ever since it first came out, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I said I wish I'd gotten two of them, wish I'd gotten two of them, wish I'd gotten two of them, and now I have three, and I really wanted four. Voltan, that's in. That's the Hawkman. Gordon's alive. Hey, did they ever release the Vulture? The Vulture's dead. They will not release that Vulture. He'd have to be this big, and if they did release him, he'd probably be $800. And I have a feeling they just decided they're not going to sell him. Anytime, in my opinion, because they do this all the time, anytime Hot Toys gives us this, that means you're not going to get the figure. We have a Vulture head sculpt that came with the Spider-Man. We have the spears that came with Captain America from Endgame. So that tells us, or Infinity War, which tells us that we probably won't be getting the Black Order figures like Corvus Glaive they promised. I would love to get the Black Order. I mean, they need to do the Black Order 4, and I don't remember their names, I'm sorry. But the Magician and the big guy the size of Hulk, or maybe even bigger, and Corvus Glaive and the girl, we need those. They're Thanos' crew, and they've given us the spears, and so it's been my opinion from what I've seen over the years. Whenever they do something like this, and they gave us the helmet of Vulture, we're not going to get the figure. We're not going to get Crossbones. We're not going to get Vulture, and I hate that. And Michael Keaton, on top of that, come on. God, that'd be great to get the Vulture, man. Sheesh. The Vulture is like classic Spider-Man. Wasn't he in the first Spider-Man book? Was that? And I'm not talking about Amazing Fantasy 15. I'm talking about Spider-Man number 1. Or was that the Lizard that was in number 1? I don't remember anymore. Yeah, Vulture's one of the original guys, man. Use Falcon Wings, maybe I know after a while they'll just list parts on eBay. Lynn, Upachon, how you doing, man? Welcome to the channel. Right now I can get a Keaton head sculpt. Yeah, but can you get a Keaton head sculpt like a today Keaton head sculpt? Or is the Keaton head sculpt that you're getting, is it from the 1989 Keaton? What's what's the head sculpt that you're getting? What is the Keaton head sculpt that you have available to you? I have a feeling they will not release Vulture. They just don't release bad guys. You can still buy, to this day, right now, as we speak, a Ben Kingsley Mandarin and the Chitauri Warriors. You can get them both, brand new. They're bad guys. Shocker. There's 4 of them. You know, or not Shocker, Electro. You can get Electro, you can get the Mandarin, and you can get both Chitauri Warriors. Brand spanking new from Hot Toys. Years after those figures have come out. So, can you imagine being a retailer, like Sideshow, for instance, or Big Bad Toy Store, and here on their shelf, they've got the Mandarin and Electro and the 2 Chitauri soldiers sitting there that they can't sell. They can't get rid of them. Nobody's buying them. And then Hot Toys is going to say, oh, yeah, by the way, we've got the Michael Keaton Vulture coming out that is going to be selling for $800 because of, you know, the mechanical wings that are attached to them. You need to buy 50 of them, 100 of them, or whatever, as a minimum purchase at $800 a piece. 10 of them's $8,000. So they're going to wrap up $40,000 on a figure. It's going to sit on their shelf for the rest of all eternity because nobody buys it. People don't buy the bad guys. And it's a crying shame because you can't have a good guy without a bad guy. There has to be an adversary. You know, it's like Loki and Thor. The yin and yang, the good and the bad. Loki's not really bad, he's mischievous, right? So we love Loki, we hate Electro. We love Deadpool, but we hate Crossbones. So I have a feeling they're not going to make a Vulture. I think he's as gone as far as the Rhino. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. So this is the 66 Batmobile, no Falcon cockpit, no Vulture, right? I think Vulture will be in Spider-Man Far From Home. You know, at the end of Homecoming, remember we seen him in there with Scorpion in jail. So I would like to see 5 Spider-Man movies. We've got 2. We've got Homecoming and we have Far From Home. I'd like to see at least 3 more. I really would. I'd like to see the Sinister Six get made. Doc Ock, Vulture, Scorpion. Who else? We need Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. I mean, there's so many bad guys out there. We just don't buy the bad guys, though. We don't. No, I don't think Vulture will be in Far From Home. I think he's done. Now, if they were to make like a Sinister Six movie, he'd have to be there. And Keaton's a big actor. Isn't Keaton doing something else now? Isn't he doing some other superhero something again? Down the road when you least expect it. Yeah, right? Hot Toys bullshit. That's why I'm not happy with the Spider re-release. I'm okay with it, if only for posing while saving the original. I'm posing them all, man. I have a hard time putting something in a box and leaving it there. I bought it. I want to play with it. It's like my Camaro. It's a limited edition, and I drive it. Now, it only has 36,000 miles on it for a 10-year-old car, so it's not like I drive it a lot, but it gets driven. I love driving my Bumblebee Camaro. Love it. Crazy Made bootleg. Wonder if the body can be used with a Homecoming Spidey head. Normally, Crazy Toys, whenever they make them, that is a good question. And I would imagine even if it doesn't necessarily pop right onto the Spider-Man head, I would imagine you might be able to find a head peg that would allow it to interchange between the two. So you should be able to get it on there. I've not seen a Crazy Toys Spider-Man. They're not picking the right ones to do. You talking about the bad guys? Yeah, it seems that way, right? The Chitaris. It's like, I guess. What year was that movie? 2000 and. What year was that movie? Avengers. I think the Chitauri Warriors were made in 2013 or 12. You know, there wasn't much at that point. It was still a new franchise. So, you know, they really were the only bad guys for the most part. Speaking of bad guys, Ant-Man's, that one that he found in the quantum realm, what was her name? I really would like to see that. Yellow Jacket? Come on, I got the 1/9 King Arts Yellow Jacket. I really want the 1/6 scale Yellow Jacket. Really, 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 really want one of those. Really. Really. They got to drop those prices. Big Bad Toy Store gives away those, for the most part, the Electro. You can pick them up for $50, $54. You can get a Hot Toys figure for $54. Electro, and I've got them, and that's why I bought them for $50. Jeez, you can't go wrong there. I mean, I don't know how much more you want to drop it from that. So you pay full price, but they give you like a $150 store credit you can use on anything else, which makes him essentially $50. So I think he sells for $200, but you can get a $50 Hot Toy. How much further should they drop the price? Or no one to buy? Price is too insane. Make it affordable for working stiff. You know, it really is sad now with the trade embargo or fees that we're now paying for product coming from Asia that they're supposed to be putting into effect in the next couple of months or something. That's going to make the Hot Toys figures even more expensive here in the United States. So, you know, $400 figure, I don't know what the fee is if they put another 10% onto it. It's turned into a $440 figure now. And plus tax, plus shipping and handling. You know, you're dropping $500, $600 for a figure now. Sheesh. Oh. I definitely will get it. The Mark 6 Neon Tech, the yellow one, definitely. Has it been announced anywhere? Is anyone selling it? Yeah, I have not seen that anywhere for sale. But yeah, I would definitely get that in a heartbeat. It's Iron Man. Got to collect them all. Pokemon, right? You an optimist with Bumblebee Camaro? Yeah, he's got a nice one too. The only thing I hate is it's like Prime Studios and all these guys have made the robots, the Transformers, the actual figures. They never made one from the first movie. You know, I'm talking about one of the big 16-inch. I think it's Prime. There's a couple of 3A, and I think Prime 1 Studios are the ones that really make these robots. You can get Darker to the Moon. You can get all the other ones. You cannot get mine from the first movie, the 2007 movie. There was actually two Bumblebees in there. There was a 1977 Transformer Bumblebee, and then there's my Bumblebee. And you can't get those robots from Prime or 3A or anybody. They didn't make one of those. I got the toys. I've got all kinds of toys, and they're not as accurate and realistic, and I really crave that. I really want them to make the 2007 movie Transformer robot, the Bumblebee, so I can have him. That's what I'm really lacking out of my collection. And man, if one of you guys was such an artist, you were able to create one of those for me, oh my God, I'd be indebted to you for life. I crave one of those so badly. Even if it were just a statue, I really just crave an accurate, realistic Transformer, a Bumblebee that goes with my Camaro. So I take my Camaro to car shows. He's won 3 trophies so far now. He just won a recent trophy again at a Memorial Day event back in May. And it's funny because I've displayed that one in that car show 2 times, and it won. First time it won Best GM at the car show, and this last time it won first place at the car show. So, and it's not because my car is any nicer than other Camaros, because there are some really nice Camaros or other cars out there. So I got first place over the whole car show, and the other trophy that I won was the top 10. They didn't say whether it was number 1 or number 10, but it was just listed as top 10. So the cars won 3 times. But I think a lot of what has to do with the car winning the trophies is because it's Bumblebee. You know, if you look at a Camaro, just regular Camaro, for whatever reason, a yellow one, even with the black stripes, this one actually has the Hasbro license, General Motors applied Transformer emblems and logos on it. Came from Chevrolet with those on there. And it's an officially licensed product. It's the real McCoy. It's limited edition. And I think when people see that, it brings the joy that we have for that franchise. It's Bumblebee. You know, he's Bumblebee. What more can be said? And it's nice that owning that, because it brings the reality to it. You can still go and buy posters to put on your wall. You can still buy the toys all day long. It's because we love Bumblebee, and I think that has something to do with the fact that he wins the trophies at times at the car shows, and that's why I like owning him, because it's like owning a museum piece that I actually get to enjoy at the same time. And as long as there's somebody, some young kid, for instance, like a 6-year-old, who knows more about my car than I do, that encourages me, because in 25 years, when he's out there, or 20 years, when he's ready to go buy one, he's going to be looking for my Bumblebee, because that's going to be like, oh man, I wanted one of these Bumblebees all my life. You know what I mean? So it's the fun and good and the bad of all of it. So it's like driving it's a rolling museum piece, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love my Bumblebee. Ant-Man and the Bullet, $12 on eBay. Wow. Best character put next to a hot toy. The Ant-Man and the Bullet. Ozgoth, peace out, man. Thank you. Good seeing you. Thanks for stopping in. Then in Japan, it's for sale now. You are kidding me. At the Hot Toys Toy Sapiens out there, are you sure? This thing will never load. Are you sure about that? My brother-in-law lives in Japan. Matsumoto. That's where he lives. Eric Lee is going to be signed the Neon in August. Who's Eric Lee? Hey, just curious if anyone want to send something to PO Box. I'm thinking downsizing may or may not, but want my stuff to go to someone who shows love for the characters. Just asking. I need to get a PO Box. I've thought about that, because I would love for you guys to be able to interact with me. I'd love to get mail. I'll probably do that. I'll probably pick a PO Box up this week and put it on my site. And I'll do that. I'll get a PO Box, so you guys can send me anything. Open them up on live air here. Hopefully you guys don't get me in trouble. Let's see. That'd be great, Robert. Sometimes I wonder if collectors buy something that doesn't fit in the collection. Yeah, I've always Knight Rider life size to drive around. Oh man, right? I've seen some of those, not in real life, I guess. The videos of people that have made those Knight Rider cars. Those are cool. Like owning a DeLorean time machine, right? Can't do with that generally. Yeah, not anymore. It's crying shame. People have gone insane. But yeah, like my Daphne and Velma here. I thought I was going to love them, and they're just not growing on me. So I made Daphne and Velma, and I'm probably going to pass them on to somebody else. There just wasn't any passion for them. When I seen them, I was like, oh man, those would be great to have. And they're not growing on me. Probably going to pass them on to somebody. Scooby-Doo fans. So I know that feeling. Yeah, you'd get lynched for fact. I already sent you Eric Lee's info. I'll resend it to you via Facebook. You talking about Jenkin Wong? Is that his real name? Is that who Eric Lee is? I thought we talked about Jenkin Wong before. Nerd, right? Definitely. The 1966 Batmobile with flame effect. Jeez. I've seen videos of somebody who's made that one, actually. So where are we at? I guess I've gone through the figure. We've talked about Spider-Man, talked about the upcoming 1/6. If I don't have a figure next week, I'll do a room tour. I've got Thanos coming from Infinity War, Mark 50 coming, and Black Panther, Luminous Black Panther coming. I've not heard anything on Killmonger, and I've not heard anything about the accessories. What was the other thing that's Mark 50 accessories? What was the other thing that is supposed to be coming out that everyone's getting already? Oh, from Speed Racer? Go Speed Racer. I don't remember Eric Lee. Is he from Japan? I think I've seen someone made a Mach 5 too. Should have Toy Sapiens site here. I've never asked my brother-in-law to buy me anything out of Japan. He sends me stuff, but I've never been like, hey, can you go down to Toy Sapiens and pick me up a figure and mail it to me? Just never, I mean, he doesn't live in Tokyo. It would be a trip, you know, to get there. But if they're the only ones that are going to be selling the yellow neon Mark 6, I might have to have a talk with him. My wife would be like, why are you bothering my brother over a Hot Toys figure? Alright, I got the Toy Sapiens site open. Let's see, where's the Iron Man stuff? I'm on the Iron Man page. I don't see the black and yellow neon Mark 6 for sale at Toy Sapiens. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about when you say Japan has it for sale. I don't see it. Working on Feist and Civil War Cap now. Is the M33 body the same one? And what are the differences? You made a choice on the body for your other figure. What are the differences in the Feist bodies in that regard? I've done a whole study on the female bodies, and I've learned which ones are which. I have a spreadsheet on that. Thought about making a video for it and never got around to it. I'm curious what the differences are in the men's Feist bodies. Definitely aiming for Flash Gordon figures. Must have for me nostalgia sweet spot. Because yeah, I'm thinking I should pick up a Feist body and redo my Star Ace Leonidas and make a better Leonidas with a Feist body. Oh, jeez, that'd be great. Let's go back here to Toy Sapiens. And so I'm assuming, Linda, you're talking about Toy Sapiens when you say Japan has it, right? And I do not see it for sale here on their site. Now I know Hot Toys China is showing it, but not for sale. They're just talking about it. And these are in order by newest arrival. I don't see it. I'm anticipating it to come out soon, but no, I don't see it. Unless you're talking about something other than Toy Sapiens. But when you say Hot Toys Japan, that's what comes to my mind. It's Toy Sapiens. So I assume that's what you're referring to. I'm new at it, but I noticed for a Feist 33 AOU, it's good, but a bit bulky. I'm thinking M32 might be better fit for next project, Civil War Cap. So the M32 is not as bulky; he's thinner in his muscle mass. Is that what it is? So was it a 32, 33, and a 34? Is that what the different bodies are, M32, M33, and M34? Are there just the three bodies sizes? Hard to put a costume on. Yeah, I've experienced that in like when I was building Daphne over here, and my Neomata. When I was building those, the those silicon bodies, they can make it real difficult to put on there. I think there's a, if you put like a powder or something on there, isn't that what some people do to get them to slide on easier? But it could definitely can be difficult to get it on to those bodies. Clothes kind of stick. Lynn, did we lose you, man? You with us still? Baby powder. Now, is baby powder made out of cornstarch? Is that the same stuff? I don't know. But no, I definitely will pick up the Mark 6, Neon Mark 6, especially if, I mean, I told you guys before, when I got my Neon Mark 4, it was announced and started shipping right before San Diego Comic-Con. So I just knew for fact that it was going to be the San Diego Comic-Con figure. I just knew for fact it would. And so San Diego Comic-Con was coming around. You know, I wasn't able to go. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go, because pretty much you have to be like in with, I mean, you got to be, you've got to be part of the family in order to be able to get into that. And I guess I'm just outside of all that. But, so anyhow, I have a friend of mine that goes, and so I asked him, I said, hey man, you know, if you know, when you go down there, let me give you some money to pick up this figure for me, because it's probably going to pop, and it didn't. And I contacted Sideshow, and I was like, hey, what's going on with the Neon Mark IV? You know, San Diego Comic Con's coming up. You guys aren't saying anything. They're saying in the original release it was going to be an Asia-only product, but then it says that it could be for limited release elsewhere. What's going on? Sideshow specifically told me they were not going to get the Neon Mark IV. They said it wasn't going to happen. Hot Toys told them they weren't going to ship it to them. They weren't going to sell it in the United States. There wasn't going to be one. So I paid $800 for my Neon Mark IV to have it shipped to me from China. And then 3 months later, or whatever it was, Sideshow selling the doggone thing for $300. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, I was a little torqued about that. But like my Mark 21 Chrome, that's the only way was to get it, was to have it shipped over from China, because it was not sold in the United States. So there are instances when that truthfully is the case. The Mark 42 reissue, which has the Mark 43 body evidently, which I didn't know until recently. Terrence was telling me that when they redid the Mark 42, they redid the Mark 42 on the Mark 43 body, and if I'd known that, I would have tracked one of those down, because I really liked the Mark 43 body over the Mark 42. But that was another piece that wasn't sold in the United States. Rose Hill Tony, another piece that's not sold in the United States. So there are pieces sometimes that you have to get from third-party providers, because they're not available in the United States new. And so I bought those, the Mark 21 Chrome, paid for the Neon Mark IV, which I was happy to do at the time because I wanted the figure, and I was told that it wasn't going to be coming through the regular channels, so I had to do that. So I didn't have any animosity over it until they started selling it in the United States. I never bought a Rose Hill Tony, just didn't need one. I suppose I would, just didn't do it. But I will do that same thing with the Neon Mark 6, and I hope that they either make the decision they're going to sell it in the United States, or make the decision they're not going to sell it in the United States, and not sit on the fence over that and force us collectors to spend stupid money on something that we can get later for a regular price. That is uncool. I think the Mark 7 is a requirement. I think if you're a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan or an Iron Man fan, I think the Mark 7 is a full-on requirement. And yeah, San Diego Comic Con, I think, is in July every year. Same time every year, whenever it is. I wonder if I could do a Kit Bash Iron Man suit out of tinfoil. I bet you could probably 3D print an Iron Man suit, because I've seen guys make them out of cardboard on YouTube videos, life-size ones. So if they're making these Iron Man suits out of life-size pieces out of cardboard, and then some people are doing them out of plastic, I can't imagine for one second that you couldn't make your own Iron Man suit if you felt so inclined, 3D printing it. I mean, there's like a cardboard creation app or something to that effect that you can go and find all these schematics for these things. Speaking of, I need a hard... Crossbones is supposed to have like this chest piece on him, but he didn't come with from this who was it that made this art figures figure. Didn't come with it. He's supposed to have like this hard chest piece, so I'm gonna have to find some way of getting a hold of that for him to make him more crossbone-y. So I'm loving the arms and the hands, and the head sculpt works, but he needs that on his chest. He needs that chest piece that he doesn't have. Definitely a 1/6 would be great. You know, speaking of like full size, you know what I would like to get, and I've seen them out there, are the Ant-Man life size pieces. Because, you know, like whenever the movies or whatever, they'll have this or that or whatever else. I'd love to get an Ant-Man, a life-size Ant-Man, because that'd be perfect for Civil War, or even Ant-Man and Wasp when he turns into Giant Man. Because I figure if he's life-size for us, 6 feet tall or whatever he would be, that would be a good comparison to him becoming Giant Man in 1/6 scale capacity. The only thing you would have to do is you would have to change his color of his PIM particles on his items that light up red or blue, depending on whether he's shrinking or growing, and it's because they would be like the normal color. Like, it was funny in Endgame when I think it was Falcon was like, "What's going on, normal size?" No, it was not Falcon. It was War Machine. "What's going on, normal size man?" Normal size man. Give me a normal size Ant-Man. That's what I'd like to get a hold of. Where would I put it? That would be the real question. Where would I put a life-size Ant-Man? You know, somebody my size. I'm going to have to build a room onto the house. That's all there is to it. My wife won't let me move. She loves our house. I love our house. You always need a bigger house, it seems. I wonder if you can find the head sculpt of the actor who played Crossbones. What's his name? You know, it's almost, when you think about it, because Crossbones, you know, his face got messed up, because what was it they said, this is what happens to me when you drop a building on my face or something to that effect. You could almost use any head sculpt then, I would think, that closely resembles him, and then just customize it, you know, scarred up. Shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, I say that as though I know what the hell I'm talking about, but I suppose that would be a good way of starting if you wanted one. Just get like a regular men's head sculpt that kind of looks like him and just start cutting it up. Go in that direction. With NECA, make a 1/4 scale Ant-Man and a 1/4 scale Godzilla. I wish that would be the case as well. Godzilla is the traditional style. Godzilla is amazing, but yeah, 1/4 scale Ant-Man would be great, because obviously Ant-Man grows, and it would be perfect to have one. Especially as they maintain, if they maintain, and NECA seems to do a pretty good job of that. If they maintained a believability in the recreation of it and made it high quality, that would be a requirement for fact. I think War Machine said that to Ant-Man as payback from Civil War. What do you say to him in Civil War? Oh, you mean when he like snatched him out of the sky? When he turned into giant man? What's up, normal sized man? If you buy a mannequin, all you got to do is buy an Ant-Man suited helmet. I look at them all the time, especially around Halloween when they come out, and I've not seen one yet that looks accurate enough. So, one of those things. I think about it all the doggone time. Every year at Halloween, I'm like looking, and I'm like, God, it'd be great to get a hold of one. I thought it would be that simple. It doesn't appear to be that simple. But yeah, I definitely have gone that route a lot. So I don't know where we at, guys. I've had you for an hour and a half. Can you think of anything else that you want to talk about before I let you all go? Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for being Patreons. My Patreon is working now. I really appreciate it. Those of you who have subscribed, and you're welcome to go do that. Siri Emerald is my Patreon. I've got the links in the end of my videos. I'll put one up at the end of this video when I edit it, and put it on there. I'm working on the Spider-Man Far From Home video. I've just kind of gone way off on the conversation on that because I started talking about, again, all the VGM potential figures for Spider-Man and all of those, and I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes. I've really just started going off because Spider-Man's my passion. You know, it's my Stan Lee story. I never got to meet Stan Lee, but I did try to track him down one time. Never even got to talk to him. But back in the 90s when Scarlet Spider was introduced, Ben Reilly was playing, in the comics, was who the clone of Peter Parker. And I had a feeling they were going to kill him off. And so I got on the phone. This is back in the 90s. This is old days. It's not like nowadays where easy to contact people. I mean, I really had to go through an effort to track Stan Lee down. And I got all the way down to his personal assistant. So I was there. I was at the wire. And I said I was looking for Stan Lee, and she asked how I knew him, and I said close personal friend, and she says, "Oh, okay, who is that?" And I said Peter Parker, and you could hear the wheels of progress come to a screeching halt at that point. And she says, "Well, you know, Peter Parker's not a real person, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I know that. I'm not delusional." I said, "But I just wanted to ask him to not kill the Scarlet Spider." I said, because I have a feeling you guys are going off in any second now, and this comic storyline is going down. And she said, well, you know, Stan's no longer in charge of Spider-Man. He's actually had transitioned over, I think, into the side that has Lobo and all those guys on it. The Ghost Rider side of comics is where he was specifically in charge of at that point. They said, well, I can transfer you over to that department that gets you in touch with the people over there that are in charge of Scarlet Spider. And I didn't pursue it any further, but that's my Stan Lee story. So, but I don't know how I got off on that subject, but that's my Stan Lee story. And I guess Toy Fair figures are for this year. I would really like to see Jack. I'd like to see a Mark 28 Jack. They've teased us with it 3 years ago. I think they put it on hold because of the die-cast figures, but they'd have to have a die-cast Mark 17 before they could do Jack. But that's what I'd like to see, truthfully. I'd like to see a Mark 28 Jack come out. This is what we're missing out of the House Party Protocol. That's what I'd like to see. And they always seem to catch you totally off guard on the SDCC. I can't think of anything else really that I think is pressing. The Black Order would be nice, but I'd certainly like to see a Jack. Or definitely for them to make, the Mark 21 in diecast, chrome. That'd be cool. Or I got the Mark 7 painted gold. Simple enough. That'd be a great SDCC figure, Toy Fair figure. That'd be fantastic. Bonjour, Romaine. How are you? Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Good seeing you. Robert, thank you. Not sure much coming out. Collection Obsession. Mostly reissues. Hot Toys usually gas about 4 Toy Fair exclusives every summer. What did they do last year? They had the Anakin. I think they only did 2. I think they did the Anakin and what am I missing? What was the other one? Was it Princess Leia? I don't remember. Only thing, want those Flash Gordon figures, right? And want to buy Jedi Luke's hair. Jedi Luke's hair? I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I guess I'm going to wrap up, guys. Let you go. See y'all next week. Hopefully my Mark 50 will be here by then. Save on, Mason, how are you doing? I just purchased my first Hot Toys. Congratulations! Whiplash Mark II, that's a nice one. And I put Killmonger on pre-order. There you go. I think I'll just be collecting only Marvel villains. Well, you're definitely in the right place to do that because brand new they're available. You can pick up Electro from Big Bad Toy Store for like $59. Now you have to pay full price for them, which I think is $200. Okay? But then you get, I think it's $150 store credit after you buy it, and the store credit is applied as soon as they ship it. So you could, for instance, you could buy Electro, which is a villain from Spider-Man. You can buy Electro for $200, and as soon as it ships, $150 is applied, which you can then sync onto anything else. And so I'm pretty sure the Mandarin is still available, and he's also, I think he's got like a $75 discount on him, which makes him like $125. And the Chitauri Warriors, same thing also. I think they're $75 or something like that discount as well. So there's definitely villains available if you wanted to get track down Marvel villains as brand new figures. Check out BigBadToyStore.com. BigBadToyStore.com. They have them for sale there. Brand new villains. And welcome to the community, Save On. I'm here every Saturday at this time. I've been on for an hour and a half. So if you're welcome to join us. And you guys make the show. I don't know how else to say that. I have a pretty good idea of what I want to talk about, but we always talk about whatever you guys like to ask or talk about it or do. So you're in charge of the show. It's your show. And welcome to the community, man. I think you're going to really love collecting the 1/6 scale figures. They're little museum pieces. It's like having your own wax museum. Today, the way the sculpts are made today by the artists and the painters, and by the way, each one of these are hand painted. So they have one artist sculpts them, okay, and then they mass produce the sculpts. But every head sculpt is hand painted, so they're not mass produced painted. So every one of these is a true work of art, by the way. So every Hot Toys head sculpt is hand painted by the artists that are painting them. And they have certain artists that paint, for instance, the same style of sculpts. So like Ely, when she paints characters, I mean, she paints those characters or those genders or something to that effect, and you'll see a consistent quality along that line. And J.C. Hong is also another painter. Well, he's in charge of the head sculpts division of Hot Toys, and but he is also another master painter. So welcome to the great community and great figures to be collecting. And there's a lot of them out there, and not only just Hot Toys. There's a lot of other companies like this Toys R Steel here that I made in this, or that I bought and unboxed today, and the art figures Crossbones, and the Velma and Daphne, and the Venom over here, and all of these other companies that makes the 1/6 scale figures. And there's a lot of them out there that are really great quality. Fison figures, if you're looking for realistic bodies, you can buy the Fison figures and get bodies that are like dead on. Perfect. Jedi Luke, is that out yet? I don't know. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't keep up with the Star Wars as much. Not because I have no passion for the franchise, but only because I'm not buying the figures, so I don't have the room or the money to buy them. Pardon me. I think Hot Toys hates blonde people. They always give them gold hair. Toys R Us, good third-party figures. They are. Toys R Us has proved themselves. A lot of companies are making 1/6 scale figures, and Toys R Us, I think, has really proved themselves. Isn't that who made Cable over here? Wasn't he a Toys R Us? I think he was. What was he called? The Mechanic. I really like Toys R Us. These Colossus are both Toys R Us. There's another one I have, the Toys R Us also. Don't remember. Hard to keep track of them. Yeah, my brother got into a few years ago. Okay, he got Iron Patriot, yes. Falcon, yes. Mandarin, of course. The Spider-Man that came out from around that time. That's one of my grails. That Spider-Man. There was a couple of them, and I'm curious which one he got. Because there's been three of the older Spider-Man figures that were made. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Red and Blue, the Tobey Maguire Black Spider-Man, and then the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man figures. And I'm wondering which one he got, but those are my grails. I really want to get a hold of those older Spider-Man figures. Your brother's, he's very fortunate to have those. Plus, made Cap's shield, good X-Men characters. There's a lot of Captain America shields that have been made over the years, 1/6 scale shields. There was at one point you could get metal shields, plastic shields, stripped down, no paint, clear shields, like from the movie where the first movie where Cap's choosing his shields. You could get the weathered shields. You could get Black Panther scratched shields, because remember his adamantium claws scratched the adamantium. His what's it called? Vibranium. His vibranium claws scratched the vibranium shield, which we thought the shield was indestructible at that point. So yeah, there's been lots of shields made over the years for 1/6 scale Captain Americas, and plastic ones and metal ones, die-cast ones and plastic ones. 1/6 scale Steve Austin looks so good. I have to say that's I probably would like to collect all of the Captain Americas and all of the Black Widows. And it's funny because when I started on those originally, it's funny, especially when you first get into it, you say to yourself, I'm going to limit it to this. I'm only going to get these 5 figures and there won't be any more. Okay, maybe I'll get this figure also. I'm only going to get these 6 figures and there's not going to be any more. I'm not going to buy any more figures. Okay, I'll get this figure and I'm keeping it to 7 and I'm not getting any more figures. I'm only going to have these 7 figures. Well, I have to have this. All right, but 8. 8's done. Okay, 10. I'll do 10, which is a nice round number. I'll do 10 figures. And next thing you know, you're looking around at your collection and you've got nearly 200 figures. And you're like, how in the world did this even happen? But I love every one of them. I love them all. I mean, I can just come in here and just spend moments and just staring at each one of them and discover something new of them, coming out and hold them in my hands, repose them, put them into a different position, restructure them around, and it's satisfying. It's like smoking a cigarette. I don't smoke, don't drink. Not that I'm saying those are things that I condemn. I don't have a problem with anybody who does. But this is my smoking or drinking. This is my relaxing, just coming out here and enjoying my figures, and that's what it's like. And if I have a figure that I don't have any love for, or something that doesn't grow on me that I thought was going to work for me, you pass on it. You send it away. You sell it. And even if you take a loss, it's at least you enjoyed it for the time that you had it. You sent it to somebody else to be enjoyed. You freed up storage space to be able to put a figure that you do enjoy. And you've made someone else happy who has been looking for this figure that you've been holding into your collection for them to have at a later point. So, and that's where I am with Velma and Daphne, as I was talking earlier, Scooby-Doo figures here. I'm probably going to sell those just because there's just no passion there. There's no love for them came about. I thought that there would be a desire to have them. It's not there. I didn't get it. They didn't grow on me. They didn't come into the house and make themselves loved to me. And that's just what happens sometimes for whatever reason. 70s Captain America. No, they do not. They do not need to make a 70s Captain America. No, pass. Christopher Reeve Superman. That is Superman. Every generation has a Superman, and you can't go wrong with Christopher Reeves. I also like the Superman from Smallville. What was his name? Dean Cain, who played Superman from The Adventures of Lois and Clark. I think that was a good Superman too. Dean Cain. Then 89 Batman, then Nicholson. Oh, speaking of a Joker, that was a natural fit right there, wasn't it? Him and Heath Ledger. What a difficult decision as to who did a better Joker. I think each of them did an amazing job. Well, heck, even when you go all the way back to the 1960s television series, Joker. I forget his name, the actor that played Joker back then, who really brought Joker to life. What is his name? There have been so many really good Joker actors. And then there's Leto. We don't talk about Leto. I was like, damn it. Yeah, I think I was going to limit myself to just hot toys because I don't want to over collect. Laugh out loud. I was typing that you started talking collecting. It's how it happens. Save on. I'm telling you, man. You're gonna be like, that's it. I'm only gonna get these, and then you'll see an amazing Toys era Cable, and you'll be like, oh, gotta get this Cable because Hot Toys isn't gonna make it, and it's an amazing figure. Same thing with the Colossus. Being a Deadpool fan, you're like, oh, I've got to get Colossus over here or Lady Deadpool, and none of these are Hot Toys figures, and they are an absolute must, an absolute requirement. Lady Deadpool is for a fact a Toys R Us figure as well, and loving them. They're a requirement as far as I'm concerned if you're a Deadpool fan. Superman, all my time favorites. Hey, Superman, I think is the top of everyone. I can't imagine for 1 second that you can't be that you could be. I can't imagine for 1 second that you could be a comic book fan and not have some place in your heart for Superman. He's like the boss. He's like the king of it all. You don't necessarily have to love him, but I think all of us to some degree respect him because he's Superman. You know what I mean? Truth, justice, and the American way, right? Isn't that what he always used to say? Collection obsession, Hot Toys 966 Batman was my gateway drug. Oh, yeah. 66 Bats was your first. I love that figure. Always love Adam West. Screw people talking crap about his bats. Loved Adam West Batman. Yeah, it was what was required at the time. And I still enjoy watching the old 1960s Batman. I mean, I watched those every one when I was a little kid. I don't know if I've seen them all, but oh, great! What was it? Holy moly, Batman! Burt Ward playing Robin, or what was his name? The holy smokes! All the biff bam boom. Hey, it may be cheesy now, but hey, it's Batman, right? His Batman was based on the 50s Batman, not that he is now. He did a great job. What's your next unboxing? So I just paid for my Iron Man Mark 50, my Thanos Infinity War, and my Black Panther. And it wasn't like I paid for them now just because I was paying for them now. It's because they are just now shipping. So all of you guys that have been having your figures for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, they're just now coming here in the United States. So they all dropped on the same day, and which hit my wallet for $1,200, which totally caught me off guard and it's killing me. But so they were paid for on Friday, and it normally takes about a week or so for them to ship to me. So hopefully next week I will have my Iron Man Mark 50 and I will open that up. If I don't get it by next week, because it's coming FedEx and I chose the economy shipping rates, then I will be unboxing it after that. But the next 3 unboxings will be the Iron Man Mark 50, the Infinity War Thanos, and the luminous Black Panther from Black Panther, because those are what have just been paid for as soon as they come. Linda Carter Hot Toys Wonder Woman would be amazing. And she still looks amazing, by the way. Did you notice she just recently got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Linda Carter did. Tom Welling Smallville, he looks great. I bet you he does. Wow, that's a long wait. Should be a little Christmas getting all at once. It was. It's exciting when that happens, but when they all come at one time and you get socked for $1,200, that's a lot of money to come out of your pocket at one time. That really is. It's like, huh? You know what I mean? $300, $400 here and there hurt, but man, when you get socked for $1,200, because the Thanos is expensive as hell, and so is Iron Man Mark 50. Both of those are $400 figures, and then Black Panther I think was pushing $300. But then when you put tax and shipping and all that else on top of that, $1,200 adds up quickly. Hey Siri, no love for the 70s. No, no way. 70s Spidey just as cheesy. No, the 70s Iron Man is the worst. Now, the 70s Hulk is cool. Lou Ferrigno is cool. That'd be cool. Have one of those. What was his name? Bill Bixby as David Banner. I think it was the name he went by. Not Bruce Banner. I think it was David Banner. Got some Dean Cain, Superman 1/6 scale. Oh man, that'd be great. 70s Doctor Strange, not as much. I don't remember 70s Doctor Strange. How much was shipping on Thanos? $30, I think. $32 or something like that. No. Shipping is $4. The tax, it was like $30. Shipping is $4. Big Bad Toy Store, you can choose economy shipping if you live here in the United States. You can choose economy shipping, and it's $4. And it takes about a week or so to get. But you can also choose more expensive shipping. They only charge $4. Sideshow shipping, they charge $25, $30 for shipping. So, like on this new Peter Parker Spider-Man they reissue, the movie promo edition, it's $200 for the figure. It's $16 for tax, and I think $25 to ship it. So a $200 figure turns into $240 after it's all said and done. So you add another 20% on top of that for shipping and tax. It's crazy. But that's why I buy all my figures at Big Bad Toy Store, because you don't pay but only $4 in shipping, and they used to not charge tax if they shipped to you outside of the state that they are in, but now they started charging tax on certain states, and my state now is being charged tax. So you have a $30 figure, 8% tax, 8 times 3 is 24, so another $25 for a figure just in tax. Love Red Brown. I still want to see him in Your Hunter from the Future, a 70-80 classic. Never heard of it. Also saw him in SSSSSS, that's the name of the movie, where the mad scientist turns male Starbuck into a steak. Good cheesy flick. It sounds like it. It definitely sounds like it. It's amazing. There's some cheesy flicks out there that are, you watch them and you love them, and you're like saying to yourself, why am I even watching this? This is the most ridiculous movie ever. One of my favorite movies, it's not cheesy, but one that not too many people know, some of you do, is one called Silent Running, about the spaceships that had like little parks on them that were circling in our galaxy, in our solar system. Quite interesting movie. It has these cute little robots in there. Huey, Dewey, and Louie are the names of the robots. They kind of look like the droids from Star Wars, the little square walking droids. I forget what that guy is called from Star Wars. I think we've seen him at the Jawa sale on in the first movie. But yeah, it's one of my favorite movies, Sonic Running. Do I collect anything other than Marvel? I have my Star Wars collection over here, which are all the astromechs that have been made. I have C-3PO and I have Rey, and the only reason I have Rey is because it was the only way of getting BB-8. When the first release of BB-8 was that you had to buy the Rey figure. I have the Leonidas, King Leonidas from 300, and that is a Dark Horse, right, or DC storyline, if you were to look at it in that manner. I have Neo Automata, the figure for her, and I have Vampirella and Lady Death, which are not Marvel. And I have Velma and Daphne that are not Marvel. And I guess that's it that I have that are not Marvel. And it's not that I wouldn't buy the others. It's just that where am I going to put them and how am I going to afford them? You know what I mean? I would buy Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman and all the Stormtroopers and on and on and on and on. I would need a room for each one of these. I would need a room for all the DC collections. I would need a room for all the Star Wars collections. And I mean, I've got 200 figures just in this. And that's limiting it just to Marvel as when you sit there and think about it. And it takes up half of the room. And they're literally, I don't know if you can see them over here, they're stacked 3 deep on top of each other over an area encompassing about 6 feet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 figures. 35 figures right there in that top shelf alone. There's 35 figures there. Where am I going to put them all? You know what I mean? I've got these guys back here. This is supposed to be empty. There's not supposed to be any figures on here but that Mark 42. I don't know if you can see them. I think we got Spidey in the way. This shelf here is supposed to be empty. This is supposed to be the House Party Protocol, the area representing below the garage where all the figures are stored. I don't have room for these figures. I don't have room for my Igor. I don't have room for Venom. I don't have room for Thor Ragnarok, Hulk from Ragnarok, Crossbones, Daphne and Velma, Mark IV Iron Man here, all the little accessories and stuff. I'm out of room. So that's the main problem. You know what I mean? Money and room. I would collect them all. I would own, you know, shoot, have a room, a building, just to store them all. Put them on display. You know, make a little restaurant where you could have people come in and enjoy a meal or a drink and look at your figures. That'd be great. But nah, man, you'll find out as time goes on and you've got 2 or 3 figures coming out at the exact same time. It happens real quick. Room is very, very valuable. Mars Attack and Blank Man. Blank Man. I never saw Sonic Running. Always wanted to. I enjoyed it. Cried like a baby every time after I watched that stupid movie. Space Academy and Jason of Star Command. Humanoids from the Deep. Original Piranha Corman had great stuff. I even like some old black and white movies, mostly Kong, Harryhausen stuff. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Those are good. Just discovered your channel with the Electro unboxing. Welcome, LG Rebel. Thank you very much. Glad to have you. I second a vote for the Linda Carter Wonder Woman Hot Toys figure. Definitely. A good head sculpt would be good, and just put it on top of a Fison body. That'd be the way to do it. So they wouldn't even have to make a full-on body. You know, if they just included it like on a regular, inexpensive body, and then you buy it for $100 or whatever because you really want the suit, and then get a good Linda Carter head sculpt, put it on a Fison body, That would be the way to go. That would be the way to go. And that would keep somebody from having to be forced into manufacturing a full-on body for that too. So very cool. Toys makes a lot of those type setups. So maybe they are listening. If anybody from Very Cool out there is paying attention, make us a Linda Carter head sculpt and then get us a suit and we'll put it on a Bison body. That'd be the way to go. But make it look like Linda Carter. Don't be just giving us some generic head sculpt with black hair or whatever. It's got to look like Linda Carter. So LG, welcome. I'm here every Saturday at the same time. Started broadcasting 2 hours ago. If you want to join us live, come in this time every Saturday. I'm here unless something happens that I'm not. Abbott and Costello, Tarzan, Flash Gordon, Blondie, some Universal Classic stuff. That'd be an interesting list. Love Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. She was the first Wonder Woman, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. Siri, do I have the Mark IV with gantry? I do. I have both gantries. Actually, I have all the gantries because I have the Mark VI gantry too. But I bought the first gantry that came out years ago, and then they re-released it, and I have both of those. And there's a slight difference in them. I don't remember whether it's the first one or the re-release. One of them is like battle damage, more or less. You know, it's like used. It looks like it with a little here and there and like oil and dirt on it and stuff like that. And the other one looks like brand new. So one of them is like his garage gantry, and the other one is like his Stark Expo gantry because it was in perfect condition. The original gantry, you can flip over the panels on the bottom of it to have the black and white grid, or you can flip it over to the white, which would be for the Stark Expo. On the new one, it's only one way, which is the black and white grid. You can't flip those over to make them white. So then I guess the new one is the one that must be battle damaged, and the original one must be, I don't remember now. But I have them both. I have my Mark II in one of them, and I have my Mark IV in the other. And the reason that is he had to use a gantry for every suit up until Mark VII, except for the Mark V. And the Mark I he never put back on again. He had to have the guy that he was in the cave help him put that on. But he's had to have assistance with numbers 2, 3, 4, and 6. So you could put the gantry in any of those because Marks 2, 3, 4, and 6 were all in that Mark IV gantry. The only way he got that Mark VI on to go to the Stark Expo to fight Whiplash 2 was, and all of the hammer drones, which Hot Toys needs to make the hammer drones. Oh my God. And Hot Toys needs to make the Iron Legion 1, 2, 4, and 5, which they never made. The other figures Hot Toys needs to make. But you could put any one of those 4, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in that Mark IV gantry, and it'd be perfectly true and correct. So I have a Mark II in one of the Mark IV gantries, and I have a Mark IV in the other Mark IV gantry. And then I bought the King Arts 1/9 scale Avengers gantry for my Mark VI. And the reason I bought the 1/9 was twofold. First, the 1/9 scale came out before a company had made a 1/6 scale. And secondly, upon my examination of the 1/9 scale gantry, it's actually a 1/6 scale. So as far as I'm concerned, that King Arts 1/9 scale gantry is the proper size 1/6 scale gantry. The only problem is with it, because where the size comes from is on the round base that he uses to go up and down in his house with. That is the size that you base it off of, because when he lands at Stark Tower on that round base, it is a certain size. The gantry then is around that and flips up, and then it actually stretches. So the 1/9 scale King Arts is in the position right before it stretches into the larger. When it stretches into larger is then when it's over his head. Before it does the stretch, it's literally the size right outside the landing area of the landing pad. So it starts off as this size, and then it stretches to encompass him totally. And that's why I think that the 1/9 scale King Arch Mark 6 gantry is a 1/6 scale gantry. And I have that, and you'll see it in my room tours. And if I don't have my Mark 50 next week, I'll do a room tour, and you'll see them all again then, as far as that goes. So I like showing those off. I love showing off my figures. I have in the other room in my office. I have that's where I have those. On the bottom shelf, it's the recreation of Iron Man Mark 6 and War Machine Mark 1 fighting Whiplash 2. That's the bottom shelf. The next shelf up is the Mark 4 gantries. So I have the Mark 2 in the Mark 4 gantry on the left side and the Mark 4 in the Mark 4 gantry on the right side. Next side up is the Mark 3 fighting Ironmonger and the Mark 6 gantry with the Mark 6 figure in it. And then the top shelf is the Avengers fighting Age of Ultron, including Quicksilver. So it has all the Avengers in it fighting Ultron. Except I don't have Vision over there. I only have one Vision. I need another Vision. I've got Vision over here with the Civil War group, but I need to have Vision over there fighting Ultron. So that's how I have those set up. Long answer to your question, Collection Obsession. I kind of wish they'd do a Wonder Woman now with Linda Carter. See what she's been up to. I remember Linda Carter saying she wanted an episode where to see her in the future with her child. That'd be interesting. She still looks amazing. I don't know how old she is, but she looks great. What did I see her in? She was in a television show or a movie lately. What was that? She played like a mayor. Oh, that's what it was. That Super Troopers. She was like the governor or something. She looks great. Queen of Paradise Island. What was it called? Mascara. Have Big Barda as a guest star. Love your Retro Mark 15. Very eye-catching. I love that Retro Mark 15 too, with all the chrome on it and the shiny red. Oh man, definitely. I love my Mark 15 Retro. I'm surprised it didn't do a Vision as a human, right? Well, there was somebody had made a bunch of outfits for them from Civil War, so you could get like plainclothes Captain America and plainclothes Scarlet Witch, and I think they did a plainclothes Bucky. I don't remember if they did a plainclothes Vision or not, but you could get those, and then you could just put them on top of your regular figure or use the head sculpt over. But I need another Vision. I need to add that onto my list. I need another Vision. Supergirl. Any version of Supergirl would be cool and fun. There's a who was it? It's Duck. Somebody Duck has made Supergirl, or what was her name? It wasn't Supergirl. It was Superman's cousin. She wore the white. They made those. Super Duck. And they made Supergirl outfits too. So Supergirl is out there. And so is Power Woman? What was it? I forget her name. Vision in a sweater. Oh yeah, with pants. Definitely. Plain clothes passing through the walls. Vision. Be interesting to see. Kind of morbid when you think about it, but like Vision without the Infinity Stone in his skull, just a big hole there where Thanos has killed him. The gray Vision, kind of like the gray Deadpool. That'd be something else. President of USA Supergirl TV show, really? Yeah, she looks great. She really is a Wonder Woman. Always has been, hasn't she? But yeah, that'd be great. I hope somebody's listening. Cool Toys or Very Cool or whoever it is. It was Very Cool? Who makes those? Very Cool. That's like my Stark racing suit. There was 2 or 3 companies that made those, like the Mantis, for instance. I've ordered a Mantis, and one was made by, I think, Bullet Head. I think the other one's made by Very Cool, and so both of those are on pre-order, and so those are coming, and I'm happy to have those. But Hot Toys has not made, and probably will not make, and I would like to see somebody make a Teenage Negasonic Warhead or whatever her name is. And I would want one from both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, because her suit is different in each one. And Rusty, you gotta have a Rusty. What do you say? You two, Justin Bieber. Deadpool's like, he thinks you're Justin Bieber. Gotta have a Juggernaut, man. They gotta make us a Juggernaut. Vice and Bruce Wayne in those robes, flashing Catwoman. Super Duck made the robes. Super Duck, yeah. Super Duck makes a lot of. Speaking of robes, I got the Deadpool Ferris Bueller robe, and I've thought about buying like multiple Deadpools. I'd like to get probably 2 more Deadpools, and I struggle with that because they're still available for sale. And I thought about getting 2 more Deadpools. I just don't. Man, I've got so many figures coming. I'm just short on money. You know how it is. And I'm not complaining to you guys like saying, "Hey, I'm short on money. You need to give me money." I'm saying I'm short on money because they're all wrapped up in figures that are already coming. And oh man, oh man, oh man. I mean, I know every one of you feel me. You know what it's like. You know, you want to have this figure, you want to have that figure, and you know, do I buy Superman or do I buy Iron Man? Do I get the Catwoman figure or do I get Felicia Hardy, Black Cat? I think I ordered one of those. That's going to be a welcome set. See, Spider-Man and I go way back. That must have been what I was talking about with Stan Lee. Spider-Man and I go way back. I'm so excited to see a Spider-Man again out there and making it what it is. You know, because I really wasn't collecting with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and I don't have those Spider-Man figures, but I will buy every freaking Spider-Man that they make. You know, it's like with the Iron Man Marvel Cinematic Universe ending for the most part in this collection that's not full yet because they haven't made all the House Party Protocol figures. The question became, what's Hot Toys going to do to keep sending figures out? Well, there you go, Spider-Man with all his incarnations of suits that are out there. I mean, literally, like Deadpool, hundreds of them when you get down and start thinking about it. You know, the Deadpool core of all the versions of Deadpool and all the Spider-Men out there, all the little adversaries of Spider-Man. And if they got serious with X-Men, started like seriously making some good quality X-Men movies and figures. And I'm not saying that the movies were bad quality. I'm just saying that they started screwing with the timeline and all that, and killing off figures and characters and whatever else, it was just stupid. It's hard to follow a franchise if they constantly kill the people that you want to be in it. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. You have to have your people have to be there. If you can't have a firm founding of them, or if they make a timeline and then they abandon it to totally change it to something else, all you're doing is pissing off your fans. You know what I mean? Rogue, what an amazing character, and they pretty much just like dropped her. Rogue is a complete and total badass. Totally. You know? What a missed opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I pre-ordered Mystique only because she's hot. Rebecca Romin, I forget who it is that plays her. And gosh, I pre-ordered that like 3 years ago, and I forget who it is that's supposed to be making it. And I'm wondering, you know, what's the deal is with this Mystique figure. Probably will never come. Super Duck, right? I missed out on the Civil War clothes for Cap and Tony. Sarah, did you get Dusty Deadpool Hot Toys figure? I did. And one of the things that I did with him was they made a mistake. Hot Toys did. So when Deadpool becomes dusty, all right, everything from top to bottom gets covered in the ash. Everything except for that belt buckle. That belt buckle did not get covered in ash. When Hot Toys made this figure, however, they covered that belt buckle in ash. In error. Watch the movie, it's not. It's nice and shiny, just like the figure's supposed to be. So I ordered another belt. Now, I ordered the belt specifically because I was making the kid Deadpool, all right? And I needed a belt for him. And this figure's not done. I'm still customizing it. So I took the dusty Deadpool belt off of him, cut the belt buckle off, took the belt buckle off of the one that I bought, and I thought I was buying the Deadpool 2 belt buckle, but I wasn't. I was buying the Deadpool 1 belt buckle. And the reason that's important is because the Deadpool 1 belt buckle, the buckle is kind of not shiny, and the Deadpool 2 belt buckle is shiny. Anyhow, I put the correct, or well, close enough, a non-dusty belt buckle on there, and I put the dusty one over here onto a non-dusty belt with a dusty belt. But anyhow, then I covered it up with the Kid Deadpool belt buckle. But yeah, here's the dusty, and I love them. To answer your question, long story to answer your question. So the answer to your question is yes. That's the answer. That's the answer to your question. Now that I'm thinking about it, let's swap this out. The short one. And put this over here for my Colossus. This tall one here. Hold him in place. There we go. Simple as that. Now I got a Colossus holding up. And I have no place to put him on my Deadpool shelf. I'm going to have to move my Deadpool shelf. Because my Deadpool shelf is full. Do you think that they will actually make the black order? Because I hope so. I do too. The only figure they've actually shown us as actually coming out is Corvus Glaive. But I have a feeling we'll probably never get any of them. I hate to say it, but I surely want them. I like this Deadpool. I like that Hot Toys Sandman diorama. What was that? Was with one of the Spider-Man, and I agree. It looks great, and that's the closest we'll ever get to Sandman, and that looks great. I'm putting my Hot Toys Yoda with fights and females wearing a 1/6 scale pimp suit. That is funny. Siri, what TV show, comic, or movie got you interested in Spider-Man? The comics. It was the comics. So when I was a little guy, well, it's okay. Well, gosh, now that I really start thinking back, because when I was a little guy, I was reading Superman and Batman and some Disney comics, DuckTales, Archie comics, stuff like that. And I didn't know anything about Spider-Man back then. Then there was like this television show called The Electric Company, and they had like a Spider-Man on there, and his theme was something to the effect of, Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are. And so he would encounter these bad guys and their little quips of them, and he never spoke. It was all bloop, thought bubbles that popped up. He never spoke. So the bad guys would speak, but Spider-Man didn't speak. And that was my only knowledge of Spider-Man, was that. And then I think there was the Spider-Man and Friends or something to that effect comic cartoon series that had Firestarter and Iceman. So it was Spider-Man and Firestarter and Iceman were the figures, characters, and I've never seen them outside of that ever. And so that was a weekly cartoon, and then the comics, and I think probably the comic that really pushed me over the edge on Spider-Man and really got me full on into him would have to have been the Secret Wars, and that's what really got me connected in with Spider-Man. And I just felt that Peter Parker and Spider-Man were the most relatable out of all of the characters, out of all the comic superheroes. Peter Parker and Spider-Man were the most relatable because he's just like a normal kid, just a normal guy, just trying to live a life. And whereas Bruce Wayne, sure, he was just, he was a lunatic, but he was filthy stinking rich, and Superman was an alien from another planet, and so neither one of those really were on the same level as your average person. Where Peter Parker was 100% just your normal kid who got bit by a radioactive spider, which gave him the proportionate strength and ability of a spider. An unfortunate event to happen to somebody that caused him to get thrust into that, and that was his struggle from the beginning. He didn't want to be Spider-Man. He didn't want to have this authority, and his Uncle Ben told him, with great power comes great responsibility. And in the original story, and they did a really amazing job of explaining this in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, when he wanted to get a car or whatever it was in the movie, I don't remember, but in the comics it was he wanted to get a car, and so he went to do a wrestling thing because they had a challenge, win $1,000 or something, or $500, whatever it was back in the day, to just last like 60 seconds in the round with the guy, and the guy ended up stiffing him, and Peter Parker got angry, and as he was walking out after getting stiffed and not getting the money to buy the car, somebody was robbing the dude, and the guy asked, the wrestling promoter asked Peter to stop the guy that had just robbed him, and Peter was pissed off that the guy stiffed him, and he's like, not my problem, dude, and he let the robber get away. And then, long story short, the robber killed Ben Parker, his Uncle Ben, and Peter then struggled with that for being the point of he had the ability to stop the guy, and if he had stopped him, his Uncle Ben would be alive. So Peter struggled with the loss of his uncle, and did he cause the loss of him inadvertently by his inactivity from stopping the burglar who killed Uncle Ben? And that is what formed Spider-Man. That is why he became Spider-Man. And from there, his motto of, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's the story of Spider-Man. And that's why Spider-Man is my guy. Toys R Us, they've said they were going to make the Mystique, and that's as far as it went. It's never been released, so I've got it on pre-order, and the day that happens, it will be there. Jennifer, what's her name? Yep, I still love the '60s Spidey back in the day. It's weird sometimes; it has weird psychedelic colors in some episodes. Love when he shoots web in the clouds. I like Dusty Deadpool. 60 Spider-Man cartoon is what got me interested in Spider-Man. I remember Electric Company, yep, Spidey. It was some clips on YouTube. Morgan Freeman narrates Just Trippy. Really? I didn't know that was Morgan Freeman. I love my old school Spidey where he got married to MJ. Oh, man, for fact. That was the line, when Mary Jane Watson came up to him and said, "Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." For fact. And I think I'm going to buy that Fison Red Sonja and turn it into a Mary Jane, by the way. And I'm not digging this MJ Tom Holland thing. Her name is not Mary Jane. She's not the redhead. And I'm not digging it. And it's kind of crappy for him to have a girl that's called MJ. And then if he ends up meeting Mary Jane, how could you call her MJ also? that's crappy. You know what I mean? That's like saying, I really still am in love with the other person. So if he does this MJ girl and she ends up not being Mary Jane and then he ends up meeting Mary Jane, how could he call her MJ when this one's MJ? I don't like the direction of this. I don't. It's not Mary Jane. Sorry. MJ don't work. I have a problem with it. Obviously, it's a different timeline or universe Spider-Man, but no, Mary Jane Watson is a redhead, and she's consistent in all the timelines. And if you remember in Spider-Verse, you know, the drunk, busted, old hobo sweatpants wearing Spider-Man was still Mary Jane. Mary Jane is his wife. Simple as that. He was growing up, then they junked that storyline. Yeah, they made it in existence, and he has his kid, his daughter, I forget her name, who became a spider person as well. I think she's genetically altered Spider-Man for the most part. My favorite Spider moment: tries to cash a check. Guy says needs a signature. Yeah, right. In the movie, wasn't that the case in the movie? He says I'm Spider-Man. Guy says don't care, need a signature, but I'm Spider-Man, right? She's a rebound chick. Yeah, right, exactly. So that's my problem with MJ. I don't remember what's her name. Michelle, I think, supposed to be in the this new Tom Holland Spider-Man. So I'm not digging the MJ. Sorry, it's not Mary Jane. She could have been anyone else. Anybody else. Because I don't have a problem with him having a relationship with her. I have a problem with her becoming MJ. That's my problem. You know, have a relationship with her. You know, he had Gwen Stacy, was who his first real love was, and he caused her death. And then in the alternate timeline, she becomes Spider Gwen, which is a cool and hot and amazing. And I love Spider Gwen, and so I have no problem with Spidey having multiple girlfriends. And if they wanted to do if they wanted him to be with her, they just shouldn't have named her MJ. That's shitty. I hate to say it. I really hate that they did this. That's not MJ. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen. Oh, I mean, I have no say so, and it appears that it is going to happen, but it just torques me off. Just really pissing me off. I wish they'd stop race changing characters. Stay true to the characters. But oh well. And you know, I thought that Domino was going to be a problem, and it worked out well. But Mary Jane. So they changed Ned, they changed Flash Thompson, and you know what? That's okay because it wasn't necessary for them to be anybody really. They could have been. It didn't matter what race they were. Mary Jane set in stone. Sorry. It's like when they decided they wanted to make Miles O'Brien. Miles, what's his name? The new Spider-Man. What's his name? Anyhow, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't make him Peter Parker. They made him Miles. You know, in 2099 Spider-Man, his name's Miguel O'Hara. You know, there's things that are okay to change, and then there's things that are set in stone, and Mary Jane Watson is set in stone. That's my opinion. Flash Thompson. And like I said, Flash, it wasn't necessary. They could. It didn't matter. He was a secondary story. He didn't have to be Flash in the comics, and that was fine the way it worked. I wish he was taller and more of a jock than he is, but he was the big bully jock, right? Kind of like Biff Tannen, right? And he's not really the big jock in this storyline, but he's still the bully. Or J.J. Black. I don't have a problem with that. They can make J.J. Black. That doesn't faze me. In the comics, he had the assistant editor, I think, was black. I don't remember what his name was. He was always on Peter Parker's side because J.J. was always giving him a hard time. But I mean, they can make a black J.J. It doesn't have to be dead on. But Mary Jane definitely is a redhead. She has to be. She has to be who she is. And this girl is not Mary Jane. And they're not. At least they're not using her name, but they're using MJ. And you can't do that. You know, if you had a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you called them by a specific thing. You called them MJ because it was their initials. And then you're no longer with them. And then you get another girl, and her name initials also happen to be the same thing. It would be pretty shitty to also call her MJ. I mean, how do you think she would like it? How do you think if you were like the second boyfriend to your girl, and she called you the exact same name she called him? Let's say his name was Frank or whatever, and they called him Buddy. All right? And then she breaks up with Buddy and starts dating you. And your name happens to be Brian or something. And then she keeps calling you Buddy. So who the hell is she talking to? Hey, Buddy. Is she talking to you or is she talking to him? You know, if Peter Parker's calling MJ, he breaks up with her and starts dating Mary Jane. Is he going to call her MJ? Who's he dating? Who's he actually talking to? Is he talking to MJ or is he talking to MJ? And that's what the problem I have is when they create this character that's not Mary Jane and they're calling her MJ. Does that mean you can't bring in Mary Jane? You're not going to call her MJ. That's a kick in the face. That's wrong. Miles Morales, thank you. And I have no problem with Miles. I love Miles. I think he's great. And you know, if they wanted to make a character that they felt was representative or relatable to somebody, that's the way to do it. He's Spider-Man. He's a new Spider-Man. He's a different Spider-Man. And they didn't all of a sudden one day say, yeah, Peter Parker's not black. You know, that doesn't work. You can't do that. Stay true to the character. Does anyone want to see a movie with a white Michael Jordan? Yeah, right? Exactly. Or LeBron James. Here's LeBron James, played by a white guy. Mary Jane is supposed to have red hair too. Blazing red hair. Red hair. Not orange hair. Not light blonde. Not strawberry blonde. Not black red. Red. Robbie Robinson. That was the assistant editor. JJ's right-hand man. And he was Peter Parker's buddy. He's the one that kept Peter Parker employed, more or less. JJ was always firing him. Robbie looking out for Peter Parker all the time. And if you remember, there was a whole group of people that were there involved at the Daily Planet, or not the Daily Planet, Daily Bugle. You had Betty Leeds, which was also, she was married to Hobgoblin, and Betty Bryant was her name originally, I think. And Venom came from there. What was his name in the comics before he was Venom? He was a photographer there also. And there are so many characters and people that were centered around the Daily Bugle. The Scorpion was hired by J. Jonah Jameson to kill Spider-Man. So all of these characters are so pivotal in the Daily Bugle storyline of the newspaper, and I think later it even turned into a television station. I don't remember, but it's pivotal. There are some things that you need to stick with, and if you notice in the Venom movie, they even made comments about Eddie Brock that had left New York and was fired or whatever from working at the Daily Bugle. So all the stories are there, and they're keeping them there. And to call her MJ is wrong, and I hate that. That's wrong. They shouldn't be doing it. They need to stop that. And it's too late. It's written in stone, and it's wrong. It's wrong to do. It's 100% wrong to do. At least won't mess up when you make love saying her name, right? Oh, MJ. Oh, MJ. Right? Whoever it is you're fantasizing about, you're there with either one of them. What a kick in the face. One of the reasons I don't have as much problem with it is because Marvel always has a plan, and I'm just seeing where they take it. I feel like they've earned our trust. I hope so. Like I said, Domino worked. But they sure did screw up Deadpool the first time in that X-Men movie. So they make mistakes. And thank God for Ryan Reynolds working so hard to getting Deadpool made properly. That was him that brought all that together. We wouldn't have Deadpool the way that he is if it wasn't for him. He did all of that. That's true. So far, they kept the spirit of characters for the most part. I should have said not necessarily Marvel, but Kevin Feige the godfather of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige, has ruled it perfectly. And they've talked about that. I think before Feige came on board, I don't think Feige was involved in the first Iron Man. I may be wrong, but I don't believe he was involved in the first Iron Man. It was what's his name? John Favreau was in charge of the first Iron Man, and they said it was very loosely done then. The script wasn't even really set in stone, and they did a lot of ad-libbing and changing of things, and it was really loose how that was done. And I think that was Mickey Rourke's problem when he was playing Whiplash. He really became very resentful towards Marvel in regards to they didn't, in his opinion, they didn't allow him to express himself more so as far as the craft goes of being an actor. And he was really resentful towards all of that. And so they started clamping down on some of the looseness, evidently, in Iron Man 2. I don't remember or don't know exactly when Kevin Feige got involved, but Feige got in there and literally just said, this is what's written in stone, and we're going in this direction, and this is where things are going to be. And it has just gone into an amazing storyline of all of this. But keep in mind, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home are in addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think Sony has a lot of say in those. And I have a feeling it was Sony that was doing the MJ thing. And that's where the problem comes from. Personally. My opinion. Because I don't think Feige would have necessarily allowed the MJ thing. Because Mary Jane is Mary Jane. She is MJ. Not... Isn't her name Michelle? Is that what her name is in the new movies? The MJ? That's not Mary. Michelle and Mary. Mary is not a short version of Michelle. If you're name somebody Michelle, you don't call her Mary. Mary is Mary and Michelle is Michelle. I should have said not seriously Marvel with Kevin Feige. Right. Endgame was such a joy. Oh my God. Endgame was amazing. Is amazing. And totally made... It was outside of all of it. I had no idea the direction they were going. And Feige had it all planned out. 100%. 100%. Even the bad movies are okay. Iron Man 3 and Thor, The Dark World. Mickey Rourke. He was super into the role, but it seems like they didn't take any of its inputs. Like if you look at interviews that he did, he knew what every one of his prison tattoos meant. Yeah, Mickey Rourke is a serious method actor. I mean, 100% sold into his creations. And I guess they were clamping down on some of his expression, and I guess he didn't appreciate that. Like Red Skull. Oh man, I called it, by the way. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I told you Red Skull was coming back, and I had no idea how they were going to do it. And it wasn't like I had any inside knowledge. I just had a feeling that he was coming back, and he and it had to do with, for the most part, if you haven't burnt your bridges with them, you know, they try to keep you in 3 movies at least. So like Quicksilver, he got 2, if you will, when you think about it, because he was in the end of Avengers, right? And then of course Age of Ultron, and they didn't bring him back. I would have thought for a fact they would have brought him back sometime. But speaking of, you know, like I thought that was amazing when Thanos had snapped Scarlet Witch at Infinity War, and Thanos in Endgame, when she shows up, and Thanos killed her brother through through Ultron, because Ultron was Thanos' creation in some degree. And then Thanos killed Vision. And when Scarlet Witch showed up and she's like, you know, in her accent, she's like, "You have killed everyone that I've loved." And he's like, Thanos is like, "I don't even know who you are." And she was pulling the Ultron on him. Remember, she snatched Ultron's heart straight out of his body and, you know, killed him by, you know, showing him his heart beating in front of him. And, you know, she was about to do that to Thanos. She was pulling him apart down to his atoms. Because Scarlet Witch, she is, in my opinion, she's probably the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the Marvel Universe. I mean, she could, just like Thanos could, or like Doctor Strange could, she could pull planets down on you, man. You know, she's amazing. And she was about to just totally tear up Thanos. And they stopped that from happening. And that's when Captain Marvel showed up. But, oh my goodness. Whew. Burf. I want my bird. Yeah. I want my bird. That's not my bird. You said you wanted a bird. I brought you a bird. Enjoy your bird. Hammer. Seems like she already said no more mutants. And made you is extinct. Maybe she could say, more mutants now. We have the X-Men. Right? Did Scarlet take off Thanos' clothes? Was he naked? She's a perv. She was definitely disassembling him, man. She was ripping him apart, and she was doing it with all the anger and hatred because she's a pissed off person in the first place. You know, it's like when Hawkeye convinced her to become an Avenger, and she's like, "You walk out that door, you're an Avenger." One of my favorite scenes in Infinity War is in Age of Ultron, and it's an ad-lib scene that Jeremy Renner put in when, if you remember, Quicksilver kept calling him an old man, saying, "Did you see that? Did you see that coming? Did you see that coming?" And he comes by and I think he snatches Scarlet Witch and runs off with her. I don't remember what it is, and Hawkeye's standing there, and so he ad-libs the part where he says, he's, you know, pulls his arrow and looking at him like he's going to kill him. He goes, "It's all it would take. You know, one other arrow." I didn't even see anything happen. I forget what it is he says, but he's like, he just, you know, he was talking about killing him. It was funny. I love that scene. I don't remember it very well anymore, but that Jeremy Renner just made that up, and they went with it and threw it in the movie. It wasn't scripted. So that was if you have a chance to go back to Age of Ultron and look at that scene where Jeremy Renner was talking about killing Quicksilver. So where are we at, guys? Anything else on your minds before we wrap this up again? So, thank you very much. You know, I always saw Wonder Woman using that lasso on Steve, right? And he says, "Can't fight it. I made out with your cousin Wonder Girl." And then she kills him. I'm gonna let you guys go, man. Thanks very much for coming in, and I will see y'all next week. And like and subscribe, and tell your friends about it. And if you want to help out, go to the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Siri Emerald, and become a Patreon subscriber. Can't promise you anything. I have nothing to promise you, but just know that you would be helping out. I mean, all the little things that I do for this. I got a 4K camera here that I haven't done any unboxings with in a long time. I'm starting to get motivated again to do those, and I'll probably start doing reviews on them. I'd love to do a review of every single figure that I have and put them up in 4K and just go through all of them. It's like there's some really good figures out there that really would deserve a really good 4K figure review because the figures came out before 4K technology was available. So it'd be nice to go back in and dig through some of these figures and give them to you in 4K. And I should do that. You know, I always say when we're using it. Okay. Peace, save on. Noble next week, definitely. Yeah, she did kill him in Flashpoint. Oh, yeah. Okay, Siri, have a great weekend. You too, collection. Be well, Siri, and always fun seeing you on a Saturday. And I always enjoy talking with you guys. And thank you for you giving me your time. And I love every one of you. And thanks for subscribing. And I'll see y'all next week. And peace.